If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for the Ochelli effect.
Hey, the 16th day of 2025, March. Yep, I'm putting it all out of order. Why not? Allegedly, according to that thing called a calendar. The Ochelli effect broadcasting live on a Sunday. Notice I didn't screw around with the day because Sunday is Sunday. Anyway, it is what it is, and it was what it's going to be. And all that. Anyway, who do I got with me here on a Sunday? I got two guests, actually, that are going to go out live. And the first little surprise on a Sunday is a conversation with Chris Graves. Now, if you listen to my podcast regularly, you might have heard him call into the Friday night show recently. You might have been aware that there was a little bit of a controversy between us not too long ago. And all that good stuff, or not so good stuff, depending on who you are, I guess. And hey, look, I'm coming into this with an open mind. I heard that Chris doesn't want to do podcasts anymore, and maybe is bowing out, getting away from the alt media, the alt writers, the counter narrative people out there. Maybe he's done with it all. So I wanted to see why, how, and all that, and let's hear from the guy who, did what? Digging Chris Graves and Get Mad with Chris Graves. Two shows that are still circulating out there in the podosphere or whatever. But he says he's not doing any more. And that's going to be that. Although I did see you were recently on doing a thing about Dave McGowan, but a tribute show doesn't really count, does it? If it's not yours, it's just, you're just pitching in because you love the subject. So, Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay, I guess. I'm just happy that we're able to do this right now.
Well, we both survived two interesting things. I had a mystery illness, and you went through a car crash. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but it's up to you. I leave it open, as I do for any guest, to discuss what they want. But, I mean, I'd like to first focus on why it is you're getting out, if indeed I'm reading that right, that you're getting out of this whole thing. And then maybe we talk about, your recent challenges, what you've been through, and anything else you want to cover for an hour. So go for it, man. Why are you getting out, first of all?
Well, throughout my life, not to get into all the horrible stuff, but I had a lot of trauma growing up, like a lot of people, and I came to find that I was really good at research when it came to, I guess you'd call it conspiracy theories, government corruption, things like that. And it's not a very healthy place to be, first of all. But I was good at finding things that were buried when it came to on the internet. I utilized tools like the Wayback Machine, Google, Lycos, all these, these older search engines, and I was able to find material that nobody remembered, or maybe they never saw to begin with. When it came to things like JFK Jr., when it came to TWA 800, the Columbine, 9/11 was the main issue that really woke me up to conspiracies in general. I mean, I could go back and say UFOs and things like that, but I think that's like a lot of people.
Right.
But,
Sorry about the weenie dogs there. They're interrupting for no particular reason. Probably something's going on outside my house. But just saying, it's. I note here when I listen to you talk about what it is that you got drawn into and what it is you felt as though you could uncover details about. And the one thing that stands out is a lot of death, destruction, and evil stuff. And you're saying, look, it's not a healthy headspace. And I get that. If you immerse yourself, and I note this with the people that focus heavily on the child trafficking and all that, when they're serious researchers about it and they're trying to dig up stories about it, look, man, you're going into a dark, horrible area. And whether it's murder and mayhem or it's, like I said, illegal activity, actually exploiting people directly, human slavery, all these things, you're not going into a place where there's happy. All this stuff is ugly, ugly, ugly. And even though you're digging up things that have gone into the memory hole or that have disappeared off of the internet, it's still you're in an ugly, dark place, man. You're digging up dirt. I mean, would you say that's a fair way to characterize it? I mean,
100%. Yeah. And maybe I had a misplaced sense of like, maybe I can shed light on this kind of thing, but just with my background when it comes to substance abuse and depression and anxiety, that you're not equipped with the right tools, like right off the bat, that people can just kind of, throw away what you're saying based on your character. And that has weighed on me in the last 3 years, to be honest with you, quite heavily. And
well, here's the thing I need to ask again. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm hearing your story and I want to help you tell it, right? And the thing I'm hearing again is that, look, I realize that I've got my issues, and I could say that personally from my own perspective too. And you walk through hell, you think you got a handle on these things.
yeah.
And that's the weird spot to be in because, I mean, look, the more I encounter people, the less healthy individuals I find as it is. And it doesn't matter what part of the world I'm looking at. I mean, I can walk down the street and find, the crazy homeless dude, or I can go on the internet and think I found, a kindred spirit of some sort who is interested in the same thing as me, and then we might even try to cooperate, work together, this kind of thing. And at the same time, a lot of people have breakdowns. They just break, they snap, and people are snapping and breaking and causing all kinds of problems in their own lives directly. And meanwhile, they're out there on a journey of justice, right? Trying to right a wrong in some way. And this is the way a lot of people get drawn into the idea of let's reveal stuff. And I'm saying this is part of my own character too, where, look, I was so damaged that I thought maybe I should rectify certain things. And I often point to, look, my father's suicide and all that kind of stuff. And that's the beginning of me deciding we need to go after the people who were responsible for the Vietnam War, right? And that leads me into JFK land. And again, I'm not trying to tell my story over yours. I'm just trying to say I don't think it's that uncommon. I think that this is a prevalent thing in the alt universe among people that are not just out there playing games with it. People that are serious. I think this is something that happens. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. In my situation, I let alcohol destroy my life. And it's still destroying my life. And it's unfortunate because I really do believe in my abilities of finding certain things, but when you have alcohol in the background, people are able to write you off as just being a conspiracy kook. And that's where I find myself currently. And it's heartbreaking because a lot of hours go into trying to find, the truth, quote unquote, the truth of whatever the topic is, whether it's JFK, 9/11, whatever. And when people find out that you have like a background when it comes to substance abuse, it's very hard to dig yourself out of that hole. And then people think that you're making up everything even when you're not. So yeah, it's.
Well, did this happen on a personal, like just on a one-to-one basis with you, or do you think that this kind of publicly happened to you where people started saying, look, Chris obviously has a drinking problem or something like that? I mean, because I didn't notice that anybody was attacking you like that. But then again, you and I stopped talking for a little while. So were people attacking you directly in public, or was this a private thing, or what was going on? I mean, if you want to share that, go ahead. If you don't. But I'm just thinking, did it happen publicly or privately?
Yeah, they are now. And I can't blame them because I can't, like, I got in a car accident on December 2nd of December. And now I have people that don't believe that I even was in a car accident. Mm-hmm. And it's on record because I was in the hospital. And there's no way for me to really combat that. And well,
I can back up that Chris
don't have the energy.
If anybody's listening to this, wait a second. If anybody's listening to this and thinks that Chris wasn't in the hospital or wasn't in an accident, here's the thing. I might even have a motive to sit here and attack him, and I'm not going to. But the thing is, he was in the hospital. I couldn't get a hold of him at the hospital. They wouldn't let me talk to him. But he was there, okay, and he was there for a long time, and was in intensive care. So, but they wouldn't let me talk to him. I'm just telling you guys that that's a reality. If somebody thinks that he wasn't in the hospital and he didn't get hurt really, really bad. Now, I don't know all the details. Some people shared them secondhand to me, but I'm telling you now, if you think he wasn't in the hospital or he wasn't injured real bad, you're wrong. That did happen. Yeah, so, but please go ahead. I just wanted to verify that that's true in case anybody thinks it isn't. Go ahead.
I just want to say that there's people out there that I consider really good friends of mine that they think I made the whole thing up, and which I can't combat because, like, how do you combat that kind of thing? Because the people that don't think that I even was in an accident, they were sending me phones and they were calling me all the time. So now it's like, I don't know what. There's nothing for me to really be able to do to defend myself. But they can think whatever they want to think. But it's been heartbreaking, and the conspiracy world. I don't know. Like, I could have went further than what I did. And now I'm just like, I'm better off not to even broach the subject. So,
well, what?
Especially when it comes to the Trump assassination attempt, the election that just happened. I can't. I find myself in a position where I can't even go into that because it's just gonna hurt me in some way.
So, okay, what you're saying though is that your credibility got taken from you. But at what point did you lose it? I mean, do you think you lost it because you were acting out a bit before the car accident, or is it the car accident that did it, or what do you think it caused you to lose that credibility, if you don't mind me asking specifically?
Well, there's people that don't even think I was kicked out of a Boston Medical Center on New Year's Eve, which was the case because I had to have my sister call an Uber to Uber me back from Boston, Massachusetts, back to Taunton, Mass. So how am I supposed to prove that to anybody?
I can't personally verify that. I didn't know what happened to you at a certain point there, but I know I was trying to get a hold of you, but I couldn't get through to you, and then later on you got a hold of me, which is the way that worked. But look, I mean, but they're just calling you. They're just saying that you weren't telling the truth about certain things that were going on there. I mean, is it possible you mixed things up, or maybe you did mislead somebody about anything? I mean, is that possible?
I don't know how it's possible because I have the not only the documentation, but I have photographs from a friend of mine, Eric, who visited me in Boston Medical Center, and he helped me get my belongings out of my car that was totally smashed and beyond repair, that I had to sign over to the tow truck company that had my car. So I've been here since New Year's Day of
this
December.
Year. Mm-hmm. Okay,
or January rather, and
I got you. I wasn't challenging you. I'm just saying, is it possible?
No, I know you weren't. No, but there's people out there that I really care about that really think I made all this stuff up like whole cloth, and I really didn't.
I know part of it's true, like I said, because I interacted at least and tried to see what was going on, and but. And meanwhile, as I said, you and I were kind of at odds at that point in time in my mind. So, it was a weird situation anyway.
For that again, I do.
Well, look, as I told you privately, I don't want an apology. But if you want to tell people about that, go ahead. That's up to you. But I'm just exploring why it is you're quitting. And if it's just because of a personal attack over this one situation, I got to tell you, man, I've been through a bunch of these things over the years where people have challenged things and said that I wasn't telling the truth about stuff, or I didn't do or I didn't do certain things that I claimed I did, and all kinds of weird stuff. And it's wild because, you don't always take the time to document everything. Right. So that I have, my receipts ready for you every single time that I make a claim. But, like many phone calls I've had with people that I've had to relate, and because I didn't record every phone call, with different people and different strange things that happened over the years. And believe me, if I was making up stories, I'd make up way better stories than the ones I've told on here, when it comes to some strange stuff. I mean, like my whole weird interaction with Courtney Love's father there, right? I wish I had more interesting information to tell, but he just kind of
Hank Harrison.
Yeah, he just sort of died in the midst of him and I playing phone tag, which was weird. And
and I totally believe it too. I do.
But he did get on the show once, and and then they actually invited me to go on the Zoom memorial thing they did. And I recorded the audio of that. But I don't usually record everything I do. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of I recorded that because I was looking, I wanted to be able to catch it all, and I didn't know if I could sit in front of the screen the whole time.
Right.
So I recorded it. And matter of fact, I think I might have sent you the audio just to show you what was going on.
You did.
But that was back when you and I were working together, and that came to a sudden end. And I don't know if people know that story now or if they care. I don't know if anybody even cares.
I don't know if they care, but can I just backtrack and tell that story?
Okay, yeah, tell your side of it, because for me it begins with Back to the Future.
I know, which really sucks because it's a great movie. Yeah.
Which is the goofiest. Wait a minute. Let me just say this before you say anything. It is the goofiest, stupidest thing to end up in an argument with somebody over that you are working with and trying to because I'm trying to promote you. I'm trying to work with you. I'm trying to produce your show, and I'm doing the best I can. Okay.
Yeah.
And a fight. We didn't get into a fight over Columbine or or some guest you had on that I didn't like, because you had a few guests I did not like. You had a few, interesting. Oh my God, why is he bringing this guy on? Okay, fine. You're going to talk to this guy again. And I had been through a whole weird thing with, and I'm going to bring up a name you're not going to like, but I've been through a whole weird thing with Bob Wilson already, because
I couldn't stand Bob Wilson.
But I was trying to produce him, and the reason why I bring you up with him right now, or the reason why I bring him up to you, is because the both of you came off of Don Jeffries, you guys were kind of working with him, and I was like, Don, I'm enjoying producing your show, but I'd like to produce some others, and he kind of shoves you two guys my way, and then Don was getting produced a lot heavily by Tony Arterburn, and he was focusing on those shows, and we weren't really getting much traction out of the Don Jeffries show over here. So I said, Don, look, take the intro we wrote, take the artwork, take everything, bring it over to Tony and do it over there, because it'll be better, more consolidated with him. It's not because I didn't like Don. I like Don. He's a nice guy.
Well, can I say something in your favor?
Go ahead.
About that? Well, Don, who's a friend of mine, he wasn't promoting the Don Jeffries show on Ochelli.com. All he was doing was promoting his show, I Protest, which was on Tony Arterburn's network, America Unplugged.
Yeah, well, that's how I felt about it. And look,
Yeah.
and you know what? I don't begrudge him. He can do what he wants with his name, his stuff, and maybe he just didn't feel like it was worthy of promoting. Which, okay, cool. Then go ahead and do that. And that was the whole thing. I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, oh, I don't like Don Jeffries anymore. It was just like, it doesn't make sense for him and I to get together once a week to do a show that hardly anybody is paying attention to. In fact, take the archive, Don. Take the archive and bring it over there. Maybe people will hear it. I'd rather people got to hear the shows that we did. And, or you rise up, man. Rise up. All I ever want when I work with somebody is, please do better. Do better. That's it. And I don't care if I was producing Jack Blood or I was producing you or Pierce or I've been working with Aaron the longest, but all I want to do is see if we can, get you doing better. I want to see you guys succeed, all of you. All of you. And that's it. And the weirdness that went on with me and Bob was because he started doing religious hours on my network, and I basically said, I don't agree with this. And he's freaked out, and he wanted out. So I was like, okay, here you go. And in fact, here's a very Christian-centric broadcaster that would probably love to produce your show. I even gave him another broadcaster to go to. And said, you know what? And again, still, even though I disagree with you, and I don't want to hear, what I feel as though is a very... it's kind of negative when it's like, unless you're a Christian, you're nothing, kind of. I don't like that. So you want to take that with somebody who appreciates that? Go ahead, do it. Matter of fact, I wish you well. And that's it.
Well,
so,
I'll just say right now, Bob Wilson got me. He made up a story about how I wanted to kill myself, and he got me. He got me locked up in the loony bin.
Yeah, he got you on a psych hold. It seems like.
Yeah, psych hold for like a week and a half, where I literally had to play my own lawyer.
I'm sorry to laugh, but I actually called you when you were in there.
I wanted to say that because it's important, because you were one of the only people that called me when I was in there that helped me.
Well, first, Chris, I was concerned, okay, because if indeed you had been in that mindset, I didn't want you to harm yourself, you know, if that's where you were at, but I didn't also make that judgment because I hadn't heard you say this stuff, and, I was like, well, Chris is a little moody, and maybe...
And I am, 100%.
Maybe he said some crazy stuff. I don't know, but I would never call the authorities. I would have called you up and tried to be like, dude, look, talk to me for a little while. That's what I would have, and that's what I have done.
I know. You did. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, so that happened, but that was before you and I had a problem. Like I said, and that's even before me and Bob had a problem. And I got a little mad at him over it because I don't believe in calling. The last thing in the world I ever want to do is be calling.
Once you get the authorities involved, they're involved to the bitter end.
And everything gets worse. You see, I don't call cops. Okay,
right.
Somebody has to be dead before I'm calling the police. And really, I'm only calling them so they can legally remove a corpse. I really don't want to call them otherwise. Seriously.
Right.
So that's my attitude, and I didn't like that Bob did that. And I told him, I'm like, dude, I would never call the authority. And he asked me, should I call? And I said, no. But anyway, all I know is that went on. You were in my
corner throughout the whole thing is what I'm trying to say.
And I was in your corner, but anyway, so we start working together, and me and Bob stop working together, and that's that. And, okay, but we're going along for a little while. It was about a year, right?
About a year and a half. I'm not exactly sure, but I started getting bitchy about there's this episode where I wanted to do a tribute to Back to the Future, and I was sending all these clips that I was finding on YouTube, and I didn't exactly put them in context. So 100% it wasn't you, it was me, like trying to put together a show at the last minute.
Okay, so
which I've done.
Can I interject something here? Can I just interject one thing?
I put together quite a bit, like at the last minute, because I don't know, just my OCD or just my personality, whatever.
Okay, let me just interject something here,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Is that okay? So about 2 hours before he's about to go on air, he sends me all these clips that I got to go and record real fast. I got to record each clip so I can play them.
Yeah.
Or I got to set it up so I can run, all these tabs open on YouTube, which is not an efficient way to use a computer. Okay.
Not at all. Yeah.
Right. So I'm looking at it and going, wait a minute, let me add together these times. All right. Now, your show is only.
I'm sorry.
One, but I'm just saying your show is 1 hour long.
Right now, I'm like, what a fucking schmuck I am.
But
I apologize for the language, but I am a schmuck.
It's okay. Look, let me just finish saying what I'm saying here, because I want to get this out. So I'm looking at the time and I'm going, now Chris's show is usually an hour. But if I allowed 2 hours, which we had an extra almost an hour, and sometimes he'd run over, so the show would be more than an hour long, but it was okay because I had a 2 hour pocket where, we could do Get Mad, right?
Right.
And the thing is, I'm adding up the times on these clips, and if we played them all without even stopping, okay, there was like 30 clips, by the way. I mean, like literally 30. I'm not even saying 30 like throwing out a bad number.
You're not off.
I'm not exaggerating. I think maybe the exact number might have been 28, but it was close to 30 clips, okay? And they're all a couple of minutes long, and some of them were longer, like 7-8 minutes. So the point is, when you add them all together, I looked at it and went, there's more than an hour and 20 in clips. And I'm going, okay, Chris, are you sure you want all of these?
Yeah, I know. I'm a schmuck.
And his response, wait a minute. His response is,
Chuck is one of the best producers out there.
But his response was, never mind. I just wanted to have fun. Screw this. Never mind. I just wanted to have fun. And I'm like, Chris, I'm not trying to tell you not to have fun. I'm just trying to do math here. And so we're going back and forth. And then he's like, okay. And so we're getting about 10, 15 minutes before showtime. And he's like, you're mad at me, aren't you? And I'm like, kind of, but never mind. Let's do the show and just get through it and forget it.
I went spastic on Chuck is basically what it comes down to, because I have a lot of mental issues.
So, you wouldn't let it go.
How to rectify that. Yeah.
But you wouldn't let it go, okay? And then you were like, you got on air and you go, all right, look, I'm on air, but I don't even know if I want to do this, so screw it. Anyway, play a clip. And I'm like, okay.
Not my finest.
This is funny to me.
I was not professional in the least.
But this is just funny to me because it's like, I can't win. There's no way to win.
You couldn't. And you know what? You put up with my stuff as best you could. And all I can say is that I apologize, but I don't know how much.
It's okay. It's okay. Look, it's okay. But look, the phrase that comes to mind, Star Trek fans, Kobayashi Maru. You have the no-win scenario here. I couldn't do anything. I mean, it was just dude. Okay, just forget it, Chris. Go ahead. Do your thing. Do what you want to do. Don't worry about me. To hell with me. Go ahead. Do it. And you were just like, no. We're on air.
And here's the thing, folks. This guy,
I'm sorry.
He agreed to produce my show and put it out on his channel, which I don't. How do I put this? He put up with insanity that he didn't have to, and it was one of the worst things that I ever did, in my adult life.
Look, you know what?
No, honestly.
It's okay.
One of the worst things, and ever since then, everything that's happened to me, like, I've thought about this, like, for a long time. Because this is, like, going back, like, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Almost now, yeah.
And I've been trying to figure out a way to make it up to Chuck Ochelli.
Yeah, well, look, you don't have to do that. The thing that bothers me,
that a person has to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. I'm going to tell you bluntly and right here in front of everybody as best I can. I don't care. I'm going to put this out the way it is, and it's just. I'm sorry I'm laughing at some of this stuff, but I have to. I have to laugh because I can't.
It's insanity.
Well, it's kind of funny because realize this is, again, just because we're playing like Marty McFly clips, from Back to the Future.
Which is some of my favorite stuff.
And he's so pissed at me that he can't even do his show, and he's just, forget it. He's just angry because I said, are you sure you want all these clips? That's how it started.
I know.
And it was just...
I
don't know how I became the bad guy. I'm sorry.
I can't justify what I was saying. I can't.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just, to me, it's the funniest thing because it was like, I swear, I felt like there was no way for me to win. And then it got weirder after that because the show's over. Okay, fine. Yeah. We cut it off. And
I know, Chuck. I don't know.
And then you got mad at me and started tweeting all kinds of crazy stuff.
But, oh my God!
And I was just like,
I was totally in the wrong. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like,
well, no, just let me ask you this question because you mentioned alcohol. Were you drinking when you were tweeting this stuff about me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
I was drinking, but that's not an excuse to go against like one of your best buds.
Well, it's look, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I was just asking.
But I'm just saying, like, the mindset, like, was not the mindset. If I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like when someone goes to drink and then they go and do something very public, it's not an excuse. Like, you fucking made the decision. Mm-hmm. To put yourself out there in whatever state of mind, whether you're smoking weed, you're doing shrooms, drinking, whatever. Mm-hmm. You, as a fully formed adult, made a decision to present yourself in a certain way. You can't take that back.
But is this where everything starts to unravel, though, or because it looked like there was a transition over to some other places, and I thought everything was going to be okay. Not necessarily.
I was suicidal. I was, and not to give Bob Wilson credence, because when him and I were arguing, I wasn't talking about suicide. I was just pissed at Bob Wilson. So now, when you look back, he got you locked up and everything.
Yeah.
How can you argue against, but the stuff that was going on in my life, my situation, my living situation, how can you justify what your actions or what you say? And you really can't.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, on the one hand, people want you to share what's going on in your life, right? But on the other hand, you got to kind of put up a firewall because you can't give them everything. Because if you do, one way or another, people will use it against you. You know? And this is always the problem with even being just minor in the public's view at all. You get 10 people listening to you, and that's the end of it, because guaranteed at least one of them hates your guts and is looking to take you apart. And they're listening to you all the time, and they just want to take you down. And I don't know what it's about, but they do.
And I've experienced that quite a bit now.
Well, that's the weird, like, I have been a faithful listener to people's. I've been a faithful watcher of, different things that people have created for one reason or another. And I've never had the urge to like watch somebody and like hate watch them, where, you know, like, even though when I would watch the news, it was making me nuts for a little bit, because like I was watching the Don Lemon show and I started saying, look, it's like a game show. It's like, how racist is it? Is 1 hour. And then the other hour is, let's do the Brady Bunch split screen and argue about Donald Trump. And that was his format. And I was watching it to just to observe what's going on in one of the major media outlets. But I never had the urge to be like, you know what, I'm going to go after Don Lemon. I didn't want to do that. Like, I know other people are like, oh, you know what, I've heard terrible things. He's actually, people made accusations against him. I don't even want to repeat some of the weird stuff people have tried to say that he did, because I don't know how true it is. And that's the thing. I try not to repeat things that I think are just crap, unless I go, look, this is a rumor, this is crap going around, and I'll tell you that. But I've never had this urge to watch something or to continuously listen to something and then go, I got to take this presenter down. I got to go after this actor. I got to go after this broadcaster. I got to go after this news guy. I've never done that. And even when I turned away, like, you know, I'll admit it, for a little while I was an Alex Jones listener, right? For a little while. I mean, almost anybody who delves into this stuff at some point in our generational span here, from Xer to millennial, would have to say, you know, Alex Jones, at some point they were listening to him.
Right.
So the thing is, I was listening to, and even though I goof on him and I see what he is now, I'm not like actively trying to take him down personally. You know, like, I don't know what that is. Like even I wasn't necessarily comfortable with when his ex-wife was going out on radio shows for a little bit. I almost went and got her.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, because I was just like, you know what? It sounds to me like she's arguing personal issues with Alex.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't want to go after Alex personally, because he never personally harmed me, even though he did damage to stuff that I was involved in. And I got kicked off a South Carolina radio station because of him. But still, that was a business thing. You know what I mean? It's just business, never personal.
Right.
It's just, you know, not a big deal. But I don't know. Like, if you're just at least it's the way it used to be. I don't know if it still is, because everybody and their mother got a podcast now. But the thing is, if you were a podcaster for a little while, you guaranteed got you some hate listeners who wanted to go after you personally. So if you uttered the wrong thing or somehow expose your kids out there too much, something like that, they go after your kids, they go after your love life, they go after, you know, you were drunk in a bar 2 years ago, they dig up your police records, they, you know.
Well,
and
I have that now, Chuck. So,
I mean, yeah.
The fact that, like, I could go on and try to do a bunch of podcasts right now, and I just feel like it's all going to get destroyed. I do. I really do. Because there's people out there that don't think I was ever in a car accident, which is on record. And I'm still dealing with that record.
Well, I guarantee you that if they did a little research, they could get the police reports.
Yeah, absolutely. It's public record.
You know, there's got to be an accident report, because I saw the picture of that car. So there's definitely an accident report.
But there's people that don't think that was, like, attributed to the accident. Which a friend of mine, Eric, he came down and he brought me to the car to try to get my license and the cards that were in my wallet. Like, but how am I supposed to combat that now?
Yeah, and you don't want to lose that stuff. I got to tell you, because right now, because I don't have a valid government ID, I'm locked out of my Facebook. I've got all kinds of things I can't do because I don't have an ID. And yeah, Facebook will not let me back into Chuck Ochelli or the Ochelli Effect or any of the stuff on Facebook until I show them a government ID and I upload it to them, a brand new one, because my old one's no good. So I can't.
Want like $500. They want to reinstate my license, $500.
Right.
And I'm sitting here in the trailer, and I'm not able to do anything.
Now, the only thing you're going to be able to do first probably is go get just like a DMV ID. And
that's what I've been trying to do.
Yeah, they'll issue you one of those. And I mean, as a handicapped person in some states, if you're handicapped, they'll give it to you for cheap or free. But even in places where you got to pay for it, it might be $20, something like that.
Well, it'd be $25, $30.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, again, that's Massachusetts, so it's going to be a little more expensive, right?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I've been trying to get a disability lawyer for my lower back, right?
Mm-hmm.
When Boston Medical Center kicked me out, I wasn't able to bring my back brace, so my lower back wasn't able to heal the way it was supposed to.
Oh, you're going to have to find a doctor and get reevaluated and then present that stuff to disability is what you're going to have to do.
That's what I'm trying to do right now, and I feel like I got people that I considered like friends of mine for the last 3 years that think I was making up the whole thing.
Well,
and
look,
I talked to a couple of my family members that are in the area,
mm-hmm.
and it's like, how do you? All these people that I considered friends, they think I made the whole thing up.
Well, I know you didn't make the whole thing up.
Yeah, but it's like, how do you prove that now? They even were the same people that were sending me like a phone, like to the hospital, and now it's like I don't have any way to, like, how am I supposed to like prove that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean to get emotional, but it's like I've been in hell for the last like 2 months.
But look, man, I don't feel good about where this is going. I don't want you to have to break down over this stuff. I'm
sorry, dude. It's just my everyday life. I don't know what to do.
No, I understand this. I understand where you're at. I understand where you're at, man. Look, I wish I had a solution for you on this. I really do, but it's so impossible.
Yeah.
Once people decide something about you, and your credibility is out the window, and here's the thing, like, and I'm not trying to be mean, but understand.
No, just tell me what you're thinking.
Well, just understand that if you acted out in certain ways in the past with people, right? They might see that what. You can't necessarily trust everything that comes out of him because he said things in the past or whatever.
And the alcohol and everything.
Or maybe he was, and that's the thing, Yeah. So I don't know all of your interactions with these people that are turning on you. I really don't. I can only speak for myself. You know what I mean? And and I feel bad because it's like I wish I could help everybody. You know what I mean? But frankly, I don't have the ability to do much for you, except tell you that you gotta let go of that which is not on your side and just work with what you got. And I know sometimes it's not a lot, and believe me, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've had to reckon recently with the idea that, pretty much outside of the people that I connect with on the internet, right?
Yeah.
All I've got in my adult life is Kim. That's it. I've got no connection to anybody. I don't have friends in the area. I don't see people really. I mean, I see random strangers on the street or whatever, but I don't have friends. I don't have family connections. I got nothing. So.
And I'm at the same place that you're at. Honestly,
yeah. The only advantage I have over you right now is I've got a partner. But I mean, honestly, it's a very, very tenuous thing. It's like your whole hold on anything outside of yourself in life is just one other person.
Yeah.
And
I tried to build up. Excuse me. I tried to build up like the podcast thing in the last 3 years, and now I noticed that a lot of the people that I considered like really good friends are gone now because they think I'm full of shit, and that's another reason why with the podcast stuff, I'm kind of done with it, because all I'm going to get in like the comment section or whatever is that, oh, you're full of shit and all this. And I can't bring myself to read that. Maybe it's just I'm too much of a pussy, but I just can't, like, all the stuff that, like, right now, like, I don't have any pain meds for my lower back or whatever, and I'm just gonna get comments from people saying, "Oh, you're full of shit," and, like, you never had an accident. It's like, how am I supposed to combat that kind of thing? What you were just saying the last like 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
But like what I'm saying to you is, look, you gotta, unfortunately, you gotta let go of it, because it's just, people that are not on your side are not on your side, you know, and they're gonna make their choices just like you made yours. And I mean, I'm sorry, but that is what sucks about this, right?
It's the reality,
is that you're gonna make almost no friends doing this, you know, and the ones that you do, you never know how long you're gonna hang on to them for.
But Chuck, if I can ask you this, if I were to continue trying to do shows and things like that, like, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Because I have a lot of ideas for shows, but now I got this whole contingent of people that are going to think that I'm just making it up.
Well, I wish I had a good suggestion for you, because the fact is that if you're going to get really upset about people attacking you, they're going to do it. But they're only going to do it just so long, you know. Most of the people that have come after me for this or that, or tried to, you know, personally harass me out of doing what I'm doing, they eventually go away. They fall away.
Right.
You know, I've been doing this now about 12 years. And the thing is, from the beginning, it started with, like I said, as soon as you got like 10 people listening, guaranteed at least one of them hates you. Okay, I'm just telling you. And they'll use anything against you that they can.
Yeah.
And what I'll tell you is that if you've decided that you don't want to deal with that, then don't. You know, you can do anything with your life you choose to do. I know that there's limitations right now, and believe me, I've dealt with limitations my whole life, where it's like, you know, I can't get access to this, I can't get access to that, I don't have, you know, and nobody ever backs me. It's always, you know, I mean, like I said, outside of Kim, I have really not had anybody back me.
Right.
You know, so that's it. That's all I got, and I have to either live with that or not. Right. And if I can't, then I won't do this anymore. And you know what? When that comes, and it will come eventually, I mean, at some point I'm going to stop doing this, or I'll drop dead or something. You know?
Well, you have the Hitchhiker's Guide to the JFK assassination.
Well, you know, I've got most of that written, and I don't even know what to do with it at this point. I mean, I'm really questioning a lot of things personally, too, going forward. And not for the same reasons as you. I didn't go through a car accident, but I went through this weird mystery illness, which is funny because it actually happened around the same time that things happened with you.
Right.
I come back from Dallas, right? And I felt kind of sick, and I said to myself, well, you know what? I just got exposed to people from all over the country, and, you know, some people from other countries maybe, who, you know, probably, you know, gave me some germs, whatever. I'm not even necessarily saying I believe in germ theory. I'm just saying, look, I got exposed to people who God knows what they were carrying or shedding or whatever. And at first I even thought maybe I was just dealing with the shedding of the, you know, of the COVID vax, right? But whatever it was, I started getting sick. And then I got really, really sick in December, like right away. And I was knocked down for weeks, and I kept trying to get back on the air, and I could not organize my mind. I couldn't hardly get out of bed, and I didn't eat for weeks. Right. I could not eat. I couldn't hold down anything. And
do you think it was one of the new strains of COVID?
Well, see, here's the bad thing. I went to a hospital at one point, and they were stumped. They were trying to find bird flu. They were trying to find COVID. And you know what they found? Nothing. They're sitting there going, we don't know what's wrong with you.
Right.
And, and meanwhile, I don't have the money to pay this, all this. Like, it's not like I can go, okay, I'm going to go see 5 doctors afterwards. It wasn't going to happen. So,
right.
With the best I could get was they call it the Coliseum over here. I forget what the technical medical term is for the hospital. Even I forget now because I actually haven't gotten the bills yet,
Right.
which is strange. They haven't sent me the bills.
So I got a bill for $219,000.
See, I'm sure they're putting one of those together for me because I was in there a bit, but but I don't know when. At some point, I'll probably see it like next month or something where it'll just show up. But the point is that they couldn't figure it out, and basically Kim just dragged me home and started feeding me capfuls of Gatorade just to try and keep me going, and I was out of it. Man, I could not function at all.
Right.
And I wasn't sleeping either. I was just kind of like in a zombified kind of state. And I have no idea what was going on. I really thought I was about ready to kick is what was going on. Because even I like for years, I've drank, and people know this about me and they make fun of me sometimes. I drink soda for years. I've always drank lots of soda, lots of caffeinated soda. I drink lots of caffeine in general. But I couldn't hold down the soda. And so I didn't drink soda for a while because it just wouldn't stay down. Because if I tried to, all I did is throw back up foam.
Yeah.
Which was kind of pointless, And any little bit of food, like if I tried to eat a cracker, forget it, came right back up.
Right.
I have no idea what was going on. It was like my body was rejecting everything, and I was just ill. And like I said, they tried to find COVID. They tried to find bird flu.
Right.
And they got negative tests, so I don't know what hit me even.
Yeah.
And even Kim thought I was about ready to check out because I was just that out of it. And I don't know. It was like, did I have a stroke? I don't know. Like, I really was that far out of it. And I've had neurological issues. So
what did they tell you for aftercare, if you don't mind me asking?
They did not. All they said is to keep me hydrated, and pretty much eventually I'll be able to keep food down. Okay. That was their whole aftercare. Nothing. That's what I'm telling you. They were stumped. I don't even know. That's why I'm saying I don't even know if they're going to send me a bill. Maybe they won't.
Right.
But I mean, normally they would anyway, regardless. Even if they do nothing, they give you a freaking aspirin, they send you a $200 bill. So I don't know, but so far I haven't received it. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I don't know.
And like I said, during that time, I know you were in there because I tried to call you and they wouldn't put me through. It's like, I got the right floor, I got the right nurse, but and I went through their switchboard, so I know it wasn't like, your buddy's phone or something.
Right.
So, you know what I mean?
That's the thing now. Now it's like, I don't know how to prove that I was in there or not.
Well, look, I like I said, I wouldn't spend my time doing battle with this stuff.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have the energy. Literally.
Well, and you got to get yourself together, man. It sounds like to me look, you're suffering right now, and you got to focus on that, and you got to find a way out of that, one way or another. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting chemical solutions. I'm not suggesting that you can do things that you don't have money to do, but there's got to be a way out of it. And I'm sorry. I wish I had the solution for you, but I didn't even know what to do with myself when I was sitting here sick.
Yeah.
And there was, nobody seemed to miss me all that much when I stopped doing my show. So, it was like, okay, what happened to that? I mean, I had one or two people that cared.
Believe me, but I missed you this whole time, my friend. I treated you like garbage, and I'm very sorry for that.
No, well, look.
No, I really am.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't hold it against you. All right?
No,
I really don't.
I can't explain the mental stuff. Anyone out there, Chuck Ochelli is a great producer, and I'm just a very flawed person, and I never meant for what happened to happen.
All right, look, I'll tell you what. Let's leave it off here, Chris, because here's the thing. I don't hold this against you, okay? And I don't need apologies or nothing. I just, you know what?
I want you to know that, though.
I appreciate it. And I want you to know that I hope that whatever you decide to do in the future, that you excel at it. I hope that you have a future in front of you. You just got to decide what to do with it, okay?
Yeah.
And I can't make those decisions for you. I can't make those suggestions for you. I wish I could.
I know.
You know, but if I felt competent to solve my own future questions, then I would. I would probably tell you something, but I can't. You know what I mean? So, look. I want to leave this off here. Obviously, we're not promoting anything today.
No, not at all.
You can go get the TNP feed still has your stuff on it, doesn't it? Or did they take that down?
No, they still have it on there.
Okay. Well, look, if people go and search out Get Mad with Chris Graves or Digging Chris Graves, he's got a couple things out there on the TNP feed. I'm sure that's still up on the Rumble channel and things like that. I'm pretty sure you can search it there. I know a bunch of us got purged from Rockfin, so I don't think you're up on there anymore or whatever. But
yeah, a lot of my shows are gone now.
Yeah, I mean, Rockfin ditched a bunch of us, apparently.
Yeah, Wheezy, America Unplugged.
And Corbett Report, and my show, and yeah. So, you know, I don't know what that means. I'm just saying. But you might be able to find Chris on Rumble still. And I know I put out some videos with his stuff. I don't know where they are or if they still exist because a lot of my stuff got knocked down. But you can find it out there. And again, we're not doing this to promote anything. I just wanted to have a conversation with Chris and be like, look, you know what? I hope that, you know, that going forward, you're going to be able to,
I love you, Chuck.
To succeed.
I just want to say that. I love you, dude.
Well, it's cool, man. Look, I love you too. I always wanted to see you do well.
I'm a very flawed person.
Yeah, well, you know what? We all are. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm rather flawed as well. That's why, again, I don't even blame you. It's just I didn't understand what was happening, though. I got to be honest with you. And that's why I was laughing earlier at it. Because, I mean, I can't do anything else with it at this point because I still don't quite understand exactly what happened. It just was weird and things went sideways.
It wasn't you. It was my situation at the time.
Well, look, things happen. And hopefully at least some of that has improved. You know, whatever was going on then. I hope you're doing better off of that. I hope you're doing better outside of the fact that I know you're suffering at the moment. I hope you're in a better place than you were then.
I'm trying.
Well, look, man, that's all we all can do every single day.
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that, guys, and I'll put this out as is. Not going to edit it or anything. It just is as it is, and you know what? I want to thank you for coming on and doing this with me, and I don't know. I'd love to see you do some stuff in the future, but I can't tell you what to do.
I'm not sure because of all the crap surrounding the accident and all that.
But you never know. You could change your name, right?
I've been thinking about it. Yeah, I have been. Because I have a lot. I know I have a lot to offer. It's just, you know, the conspiracy theorist guy. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but who knows? Maybe you could do something else and make Chris your last name, right? And then use your middle name as your first name or something like that. You know, switch it around.
I'm going to try. Yeah.
Switch around. After all, Jack Blood is not, you know, that's not his name.
I know. Yeah, I just want you to know that I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and my all my shit, my bullshit right now.
Look, man, if it's the least I can do, it's the least I can do. But I really hope things.
You're a good man. You're a good man.
Thank you. I just hope that things improve for you, man. That's all. And for you guys listening, we're going to leave it at that. I'm just going to cut this. All right.
Do you like history, real history that you were never taught in schools? Why? The Vietnam War, Nuclear Bombs and Nation Building in Southeast Asia.
By author Mike Swanson, with new documentation never seen before that'll open your eyes to events that led up to this.
Why? The Vietnam War, Nuclear Bombs and Nation Building in Southeast Asia, 1945 through 1961.
Get your copy today at Amazon.com.
Why? The Vietnam War.
By author Mike Swanson.
Let 'em know. Let 'em know. Let 'em know. Got to let.
Ochelli.com.
The Ochelli.com radio network.
In Denial, Secret Wars with Airstrikes and Tanks by Larry Hancock. Secret wars became a staple of U.S. covert operations and are still happening today. Larry Hancock's book, In Denial, rips the cover off many of them. Using new files, it exposes things about the Bay of Pigs that no one has ever written about before. It shows why it really failed and why the United States did not learn from it. It also shows why other countries today are doing secret operations with more success. This is the book that puts what some want to deny into the light. In Denial, Secret Wars with Airstrikes and Tanks. Larry Hancock. For more information, go to larry-hancock.com. Pick up your copy of In Denial at Amazon.com in digital or physical form.
Revelation through conversation.
The Ochelli.com radio network.
Ochelli.com.
The War State by Michael Swanson explains the great national transformation that took place and put the Kennedy presidency in the context of the times and reveals never-before published information about the Cuban Missile Crisis. President Kennedy would not have been assassinated if he had been president 200 years ago. His assassination took place in the context of the Cold War and the rise of the national security state. Before World War II, the United States was a continental republic. In the decade that followed, it became an imperial superpower. Generals such as Curtis LeMay not only wanted to invade Cuba, but knew that there were short-range missiles on the island armed with nuclear warheads that they could not destroy because they were on mobile launchers. Their invasion could have led to a third world war, and they wanted to go to war anyway. The War State by Michael Swanson reveals why and will show you what President Kennedy was up against. For more information, thewarstate.com.